90-Day Fiancé. 8 signs Andrei Castravet turned into a monster. 90-Day Fiancé. 8 signs Andrei Castravet turned into a monster. Andrei Castravet's a rude and crude reality star who rubs everyone the wrong way. He's sexist and incredibly abrasive. Andrei lacks emotional intelligence. When faced with obstacles, he resorts to explosive tantrums and physical fights. He displays a lavish lifestyle on Instagram, but he may not really be so rich. Plus, some of Andrei's wealth may come from his father-in-law. Andrei loves Libby Potthast Castravet, but he's often cruel to her. He swears at her and blames Libby for their problems. 90-Day Fiancé villain Andrei Castravet is a devilish reality star who always looks out for number one. Sometimes his words and actions are disgusting. This boorish husband and father is as abrasive as sandpaper. He rubs everyone the wrong way. Rude and crude. With sexist views that harken back to the Dark Ages, Andrei's into putting down the in-laws that he fleeces. Whether he's expecting Chuck Potthast to pay for a lavish Moldovan wedding, actually 2 weddings, or swearing at his wife Libby Potthast, he's embracing his inner monster. Andrei Castravet's a total rageaholic. Charlie Potthast taunted Andrei Castravet, and Andrei attacked him. As per TLC at YouTube, a warm and fuzzy family dinner went seriously awry when Charlie Potthast entered the fray. The tension began to build when Chuck offered everyone burgers. Andrei showcased his signature refinement. He responded, "I don't want to fucking eat anything." Then Charlie appeared, ready to bait a brother-in-law with a very short fuse. Naturally, as seen above, there were fireworks. When Charlie came into the room, he said, "Here I am, call the cops." This really inflamed Andrei, who began to prepare for physical battle. The 2 men ended up in a tacky brawl that unfolded near the swimming pool. Sure, it was entertaining, but that doesn't change the fact that Andrei's totally out of control. His anger management skills are non-existent. Suffice it to say that the possibly shady businessman Chuck's wistful wish to have some fun as a family did not come true. Before Andrei turned down the burger offer, the chatter was centered on what Andrei did to the Potthasts. Did he ruin their lives? They seemed to think so, except for the disturbingly loyal Libby. So, Andrei was getting provoked right and left. Nonetheless, his coping skills are very poor, and that's why he's a monster. Andrei Castravet's recent Instagram posts are cringe. He's a male chauvinist. Andrei Castravet objectifies Libby Potthast. On IG, Andrei's conduct with his wife has been a hot topic so many times, and not in a good way. He isn't shy about embracing a male chauvinist mindset. Mostly, his wife goes along with it. She seems very devoted to Andrei, who's emotionally abused her in the past. Clearly, she loves this man no matter what. In a recent post, a cringe skit showed Andrei's dark side as he checked out his wife's bottom while she did the housework. Andrei chilled out as she toiled. He objectified his spouse, who wore a tight dress, by adding the slightly sleazy caption, "At first glance, this post might be considered flattering. He's into Libby and that's great." However, few could argue that the clip and caption were all about the proverbial male gaze. Libby's shape was the focus, and Andrei's compliment was all about externals. While it isn't monstrous to say something nice about a partner's body, if obliquely, he veered into sexist territory here. His man-of-the-house shtick is so tired. Would a swear jar stop Andrei Castravet from cursing? Andrei Castravet even cusses at Libby Potthast. Andrei used profane language while interacting with Chuck at the family dinner that was previously discussed. However, that was just the tip of the iceberg. The notorious 90-Day Fiancé villain knows all the bad words and puts them into play with everyone in his life, except perhaps his children. His longtime partner Libby's been a target. While his innocent kids don't get the brunt of it, they have overheard him. Since Andrei has no filter, those around him are treated to nasty tirades on the regular. He drops F-bombs and so much more. The network bleeped out his cursing. However, Andrei can offend without uttering a single swear word. When he ordered Libby to listen double in Moldova, as per Happily Ever After, he showed the kind of in-your-face attitude that has made him a bona fide monster. Who does he think he is? Obviously, Andrei has a high opinion of himself and doesn't hesitate to take his wife to task when she fails to measure up to his high standards. At the same time, he's brought so much turmoil to her life. They tried to kick Andrei out of Moldova. shadowy forces may have tried to get Andrei out of the country. Cigar smoking. Macho man Andrei once encountered some mysterious foes in Moldova, who would apparently do almost anything to get him out of the country. A person has to sin on a pretty extreme level to earn the wrath of these types of shadowy forces. While Andrei was somewhat cryptic about the situation, which wouldn't seem so out of place in a John le Carré novel, it seemed to be linked with his former career as a police officer. After being pushed out of his home nation, he ended up in the Emerald Isle. He met Libby on an app while they were both in Ireland. Apparently, a group of corrupt police officers turned on Andrei, who didn't want to participate in their illegal activities. This plot seemed a bit convoluted, but maybe it's true. If so, Andrei's a hero rather than a monster. However, it's not improbable that he's exaggerating. Did this really happen? Is Andrei the type of stand-up guy who's going to resist evil every single time? Maybe not. His track record in terms of being good is very sketchy. If he did fight for justice in Moldova, he clearly did a 180 once he was out of the country. He became the greedy and combative man that 90DF viewers love to hate. His problems in Moldova may have triggered immigration woes in the USA, as Andrei once feared being deported. He said on screen that immigration officials were whispering about him, which made him seem paranoid. While it's not impossible that some black mark on his record caused the immigration issues, as he believes, his problems with the aforementioned shadowy forces may not have been the real reason why he had to worry about his status in America. Andrei Castravet may have goaded Charlie Potthast into losing weight. Did Andrei Castravet body shame his brother-in-law Charlie Potthast? Andrei's a bully and his barbs may have drawn blood, as Charlie apparently slimmed down after being taunted by Andrei. Even the kindest and most compassionate advice about weight loss can really backfire, unleashing a host of insecurities in the people the comments are directed at. Of course, Andrei's not going to sugarcoat his guidance. It's going to hit hard just as it's supposed to. On screen, Andrei definitely wasn't trying to soften his approach when he described Charlie as his effing fata brother. After that kind of abuse, it's unsurprising that Charlie began to look leaner in photos, such as the family portrait shown above. Andrei Castravet and Libby Potthast show off their upscale lifestyle. Are Andrei Castravet and his wife really rich? Andrei may not have grown up in luxe surroundings, and now that he's living out the American dream, he's flaunting his wealth. That's perhaps understandable, as the perks that he now enjoys probably seemed totally out of reach when he was younger. It's great that he's getting so much from life, but sometimes people who flaunt their wealth on Instagram aren't really that wealthy. Also, it's obnoxious to show off belongings and expensive trips in front of 90DF fans who may not have nearly as much. In the post above, via a screen grab, and the one below, which features an oversized and glitzy Christmas tree, Andrei and Libby are clearly living large. The real issue here is the fact that Andrei's gotten money from his in-laws and his partner. He hasn't necessarily earned it all himself, so showing off seems a little crass. If a person asks relatives for cold, hard cash, only to flaunt luxuries online, that may spark some resentment in those who doled out the money. Does Chuck enjoy seeing Andrei show off? Maybe not, as he probably had to spend a lot of money in order to get Andrei and Libby to that point. The truth is that he might find it galling. While Chuck's been generous, the money he's given to the controversial duo has caused drama. The other adult Potthast kids feel that Andrei and Libby get the most from Chuck. Their envy and anger complicates Chuck's life. So, with that in mind, maybe Monster Andrei should tone down the most outrageous, lavish lifestyle displays online. Andrei may have flirted with Yara Zaya. Andrei Potthast loves Libby, but he may have a wandering eye. Andrei wasn't 100% appropriate when he got flirty with a certain sultry blonde. Yara Zaya's extremely glamorous, which is why it's so baffling that her husband likes to spend his free time at strip clubs. It could be argued that he has better at home. With that in mind, Andrei's only human, and probably couldn't help but notice that Yara was appealing. However, he's married, and getting close to Yara is not going to change his monster image. During yet another nasty feud, Andrei told off Jovi Dufresne, who'd admittedly provoked him by accusing Andrei of being the reason for all the conflicts in the Potthast family. It has to be said that this could well be true. Anyway, after that verbal attack, Andrei retaliated with a vengeance, just like he always does. He said that Jovi wasn't good enough for Yara, which made it seem like Andrei thought that Yara was out of Jovi's league. This seemed like a subtle compliment that he was throwing in Yara's direction. Her female friends had echoed similar sentiments in the past. Andrei has a very nice wife. Libby will do anything for him. He is a lucky man, as he's a very difficult person. To find a mate who can deal with his outbursts and aggression is perhaps more than he deserves, but this is a goal that he's achieved. So, he should be careful when it comes to gushing about other women. It's not a good look for him. Andrei Castravet's alpha time chatter is so annoying. Why does Andrei Castravet try so hard to be the man? Quiet confidence isn't exactly Andrei's style, and it doesn't have to be, but he sets himself up for mockery when he posts about alpha time on Instagram. The whole alpha male thing is not ultra-modern. Are there really tiers of men, some of whom have the effortless capacity to control a pack of males, as well as adoring women? It's possible that all of this is just a form of pseudoscience like astrology. Some will believe in alphas, and some won't. Clearly, Andrei believes. He thinks that he's one of those uncommon males who is born with untold personal power. He's not Winston Churchill rallying the troops with the kinds of speeches that give listeners the chills. He's not out there saving lives like first responders do. He's a reality star who leeches off his in-laws to the point that it's shameless and cringeworthy. He often makes his long-suffering wife feel like she's below him, which certainly isn't true. However, during alpha time, Andrei clearly feels like the man. Everyone should love themselves, but it seems like Andrei's trying way too hard. He's leaned into the villain role, but can he ever lean out? 90-day fiancé celeb Andrei is locked into a stubborn mindset. Sure, he loves his wife and kids, but he's often so focused on getting what he wants, or just raging, that he forgets to be truly human. Under all that bitterness and greed, there is a heart that beats. However, more often than not, his softer qualities get lost. He seems like a monster and needs to change. Andrei's heard all that before, but listening isn't his strong suit, even though he wants Libby to listen double. 90-Day Fiancé star's father. Chuck Potthast passes away from cancer. A beloved member of 90-Day Fiancé star Elizabeth Castravet's family has passed away. Elizabeth is a cast member in the popular reality TV franchise via shows like 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, with her husband Andrei Castravet. The couple got married in 2017 after Elizabeth submitted the visa paperwork for her partner to come to the United States. According to Elizabeth Castravet, her father, Chuck Potthast, died 2 weeks ago at the age of 64 after a battle with a form of cancer called glioblastoma. The reality TV star shared the tragic news on Instagram, admitting that the loss in her family has left everyone completely shattered. She included a photo of herself, husband Andrei, their kids, and Chuck as they all smiled for the camera. Elizabeth added that she and the rest of her family are attempting to navigate their lives and move forward without the patriarch by their side. She asked for privacy during this extremely difficult time. As part of that attempt at privacy, she disabled the comments section on the Instagram post. The reality TV cameras have captured a lot of the ups and downs in Elizabeth's life over the years. Her relationship with her family has faced major strains at times, and she has had the strongest bonds with Chuck and her sister, Becky Potthast. Elizabeth's family took issue with various decisions she made in her personal life, and it got to the point where the toxicity was too much to bear. Removing herself from the situation has helped tremendously, with her husband, Andrei, going so far as to compare her family to a cult at one point. 90-Day Fiancé showed the growth of Elizabeth and Andrei's bond. Despite the familial obstacles in their path, the two met in Ireland, and 2 years after getting married, they had their first baby, a girl named Eleanor. 3 years later, their son Winston turned the Castravets into a family of 4. The couple most recently appeared in 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Season 9, with the 4-part tell-all currently airing. Due to the strained relationship she has with several members of her family, Elizabeth has always been able to count on the bond with her father, Chuck, through thick and thin, especially when she and her siblings were at odds with each other, with the patriarch hoping for peace in the family. Chuck has appeared in the 90-Day Fiancé franchise alongside his daughter on shows like Happily Ever After, Pillow Talk, and 90-Day Diaries. It's unknown at this time if 90-Day Fiancé will pay tribute to Chuck in the next episode, or if the cameras will capture Elizabeth mourning the loss of her father. 90-day fiancé, shocking secret forces, family to flee the country. Andrei Castravet just admitted to a massive secret on 90-day fiancé, happily ever after. That caused his wife Elizabeth "Libby" Potthast to leave Moldova with their children. 90-day fiancé's Andrei lost over $75,000. Shortly into their trip, the 90-day fiancé star reveals he made a bad investment and lost nearly $75,000 because of the Russian/Ukrainian war. After a huge family party, Andrei gave his family the impression they were moving back to Moldova, but Libby was already upset that her husband wasn't being totally forthcoming. The situation got worse when he took her to a rental property to show her the progress. The progress was nowhere near expected, as for about 2 years his property sat untouched, and Libby was irate. The dirty home was filled with materials and garbage and didn't look like it had been touched in months. "Why didn't you tell me?" she pleaded with him. "Keep me in the know." But Andrei simply didn't want to give her bad news that would stop her from considering Moldova as a place to raise their family. Her father, Chuck Potthast, tries to intervene, but Libby is clear. Andrei lied to her, and she couldn't trust him anymore. As a result, she changed her flight to leave with her dad and left her husband behind. 90-day fiancés, Andrei's known for bad investments. To make the situation worse, this isn't the first time Andrei's made a bad investment or was a little foolish with the family's money. When the 90-day fiancé star first arrived in America, he wanted to be a truck driver. He went to school and even bought a truck with the help of his father-in-law Chuck. That business adventure didn't go far as he stayed home, playing games while his wife worked. A year or two later, Andrei changed professions, despite having no experience. He decided he was going to work in real estate like the rest of the Pothasts. Only Andrei expected Chuck to pay $100,000 so he could get started, but this also meant he'd be in direct competition with his in-laws. Now, in present time, Andrei has another investment of nearly $100,000 that's gone to waste. However, what makes this situation the worst is that Andrei blindsided his wife. Libby was aware of the other investments, and while Andrei's concerns about his wife not wanting to move are understandable, this is clearly a manipulative move from the Moldovan native. Unfortunately, it seems highly unlikely that Andrei will be able to convince his wife to move abroad, especially since, once again, his family is suffering from another one of his bad investments. With his wife returning to America, Andrei is left explaining to his family what happened. This also means he has to own up to the half-truths he told his family as well. However, knowing Andrei, he'll likely spin this issue in his favor, as he did with his other investments. Or maybe he'll ask his father-in-law for more help. Either way, though, it seems like the Moldovan star has bigger problems to solve throughout the rest of the season. Another 90-day fiancé star leaves Florida for bold new adventure amid big move overseas. A cast member set off on a new adventure outside of Florida as she contemplates moving overseas with her husband and children on 90-day fiancé, happily ever after. This update comes after another couple from 90-day fiancé, happily ever after. Season 9 also left their Florida home to travel to Israel. Loren and Alexei Brovarnik, along with their 3 children, flew to Israel and had many enjoyable experiences during their trip. Lauren even expressed that Israel felt like a true home to her. The couple also reassured fans that they feel completely safe in the country, addressing concerns about the ongoing conflict in Gaza. Elizabeth Potthast and Andrei Castravet are contemplating a permanent move to Moldova, Andrei's native country, and Elizabeth has now left Florida. In 90-day fiancé, happily ever after, Season 9, Elizabeth and Andrei are in the midst of planning a trip to Moldova, which will determine whether they decide to move. Before making such a significant decision, Elizabeth decided to take a break and enjoy a relaxing vacation with her best friend in North Carolina. Recent Instagram stories show her basking in the sun in the Outer Banks and indulging in seafood. Elizabeth also posted a video of herself sipping wine and enjoying a charcuterie board with a caption that read, "POV, you're kid-free and a guest for a few days," along with the hashtag #AloneTime. What Elizabeth's kid-free vacation means. Elizabeth likely needed time alone to think about her future. Andrei has lived in the United States since 2017 and has since become an American citizen. However, he still misses his home country dearly and wishes to raise his 2 children close to his European roots. Andrei plans to move to Moldova permanently, but Elizabeth isn't in agreement. She wants to travel to Moldova for a brief visit first before deciding on a permanent move. Although she is open to relocation, it may not be an easy transition for her. Although she is no